New currency type, new token types, Warzone changes, new social space, Nexus crafting, more PvP.
Jeez. Double kill. Oh, triple kill. Oh.
Okay, okay. Slow it down. Challenges, quests, bounties, milestones, plots, dungeons, bosses, public activities, more loot, and so much more. You got that? Okay, let's dive into it. The biggest update for the DarkNexus prison server is finally in a phase where I can finally do a reveal showcase for the actual update. So, with this new update, this huge update, the biggest update, Nexus Town, the new social space, is available for old and new players to explore and to gain loot over. Now, you may be asking yourself, within this update, why is Nexus Town, why is this update so huge, so game-breakingly huge? How is it going to change how we play? How is it going to change how this works? How does it make it different from other servers? Let me explain. Nexus Town is home to the best gear in shops, take on quests and challenges to earn top-tier rewards all week round. Nexus Town also offers its new Nexus points system. Earn points by completing challenges, quests, bounties, and by converting token items to earn points. You can then use points to craft useful items in the Nexus Town crafting shop. With that being said, a new currency type and new token types are finally being introduced within the prison. So starting off with the new currency type, Nexus crafting points. These Nexus crafting points will be useful and will be obtained through various ways, and it works in the similar fashion of how it's broken up with cash. You got 1s, 5s, 10s, 50s, 100s, and so on. You can then use these points to craft many useful items and materials within the Nexus crafting shop. You can get these by doing challenges, bounties, milestones, etc., etc. You can also convert token items to gain these points. And with that being said, the next thing I do want to talk about is the new token items. These token items will only be obtainable in the Warzone, in the Shadow Realm, and these are as specified: simulation cores, inferno craniums, colonel bioware, infinite forest roots, torn ender artifacts, dark dust, and chilled ice cores. These will only be obtainable in the Warzone. However, in the Warzone, there will only be specified areas where you can get. For example, simulation cores will only be able to get in the kind of nature area of the Warzone, and the ender artifact for the ender fortress. And same as everything else, note some of the token items will not be available until some areas come out. For example, inferno craniums and chilled ice cores, those will be used in the future to come. With the new update to the prison server comes the new social space, Nexus Town, and introduces the new challenges, quests, bounties, and Nexus crafting. So let's go ahead and start off with challenges. Challenges are a way to spice up your gameplay and to get some great loot overall. There are 3 categories of challenges: daily, weekly, and monthly, and will change based on what category it's from. So for example, daily challenges will change daily, weekly for weekly, etc., etc., and they will have specified dates on when they are going to change. You can then head downstairs to convert what the objective list is telling you to convert, to then convert it, and to then get your rewards from another terminal. Note there are package bundles, and there will be shulker boxes that you will need to throw out. There will be specified details in the actual update itself. Moving on, the quests are going to take you on a shorter journey, and it will be shorter in length. Quests will come in 3 categories: easy, medium, and hard, and loot will vary on what quest you are going to do. You can then head downstairs to convert your items for which quest you're going to do, easy, medium, or hard. Note there are package bundles with this as well. There will be dedicated information on what shulker boxes you are not allowed to have, so throw out the shulker boxes for both challenges and quests when you do get them. No quests are daily oriented and will change its rewards and items daily. Now, moving on with the new biggest thing to the prison that other servers do not have is Nexus crafting. So, what is Nexus crafting essentially? Well, Nexus crafting is essentially where the new currency type where you can do challenges, do quests, do bounties to get this new currency type in order to craft your own items. So, for example, you can get 1,000 crafting points to convert it into a specified item that you wish to have for that week. More information on that in a second. With this new currency system comes a whole lot of a new converting system. With this system, it works as the same system as of cash would work. Of course, you can convert five $10 bills into a $50 bill. But what happens if you wanted to convert a $100 bill into two 50s? Well, you can convert 100 crafting point bill into two 50 crafting point bills. You can do that. You can do whatever you want. It's all universal in this update. If you want to convert two 500 crafting points into 1,000 crafting point bill, you can do that. If you want two 500 crafting point bills from one 1,000 crafting bill, you can do that. It's all universal, and you can craft it so there is no confusion and you don't have to grind for a specific challenge or a specific quest or anything to get that specific amount of crafting points in order to do so. You can also convert specific token items to earn crafting points. Moving on, the new crafting area. The Nexus crafting is the new addition to this update that features you, allowing you to convert your crafting points into something that you desire. There are 4 categories: token items, vanity, specialist, and legendary. Token items allow you to convert your crafting points into multiple different token types. Vanity items will give you the option to craft your crafting points into a kit, a crate key, a decoder book, or a cash value bill. Specialist items are items that you wouldn't normally see in the prison, block items, special items, and other etc. items, and legendary items allow you to buy very expensive and very, very useful things like diamonds, shulker boxes, and so much more. That is the basic gist of challenges, quests, and Nexus crafting. More specific information in the update coming soon. Note, with all challenges, quests, bounties, and milestones, there will be package bundles. So for example, there will be some challenges where you can convert your items for one special reward that will contain a shulker box with some items instead of you just getting one item for your reward. So with these package bundles, they will be different color codes. So for example, in the challenge section, you have green for daily, orange for weekly, and blue for monthly. When you get these package bundles, doesn't matter if it's from challenges or quests, get the loot out of it and dispose of the shulker box in a dedicated trash bin that will be located near the place that you were converting your challenges or your quest, etc., etc. Pretty self-explanatory. The reason for this being is that you are not supposed to have that shulker box, and it also tells me that if you have this shulker box, you either A, broke into a shop, or B, that you're not supposed to have it. The reason of this being is because in the server, I color code my shulker boxes. For example, blue shulker boxes would be for timeless tokens, green shulker boxes would be for light fragments, and orange shulker boxes would be for token blocks. So if I see you with these shulker boxes, regardless if you have loot and in your ender chest, I would ask you to get take it, give it to me, and I will burn it personally. Doesn't matter if you have your $60,000 in that shulker box for Cell Block 2. It's something that I do ask for all players. So just the gist, if you are converting a reward with a package bundle, I advise you to get rid of the shulker box afterwards, after you take all of the rewards afterwards. Moving on from challenges, quests, and Nexus crafting, we have the new Warzone changes. So starting off, we have the new dungeons introducing into the Warzone. There are going to be 2 dedicated dungeons within each section of the Warzone. For example, there will be 2 dungeon locations in the nature area and 2 dungeon locations in the ender sections. Dungeons will be marked by pink beacons, just as the same fashion as of the supply drops within the Warzone. Note, at launch of the update, there will only be 2 dungeons available, one in the End Fortress and one in the Nature section. So, what are dungeons exactly? Well, if you find a dungeon, there will be a hole for you to drop in. You drop down that hole, mobs will spawn. When mobs spawn, that is when you're going to get to work. Note, mobs will be different from which dungeon you're going to go into. For example, the nature one in this example, there will be zombies, husks, creepers, and witches for you to fight. So, what you're going to be doing, you're going to be fighting those mobs, but if you go to the Ender section or to another section or another dungeon, the mobs may vary. For example, in the Ender section, you may be fighting off against wither skeletons, husks, witches, and vindicators, etc., etc., and they will change depending on which dungeon and which section you're going to. Now, with the mobs, there will be dedicated terminals for you to convert your items. So for example, you're going to have to convert rotten flesh and gunpowder for this dungeon, and in the other ender section, it may be something as of the lines of maybe bones, coal, and emeralds, for example. The loot that you have to turn in will vary on what the dungeon actually is. So for example, in this dungeon, you have to convert just gunpowder and just rotten flesh. That's it. You convert these items in the terminals when you are at the back of this dungeon, supposing that you are not dead from something stupid. You convert your items into a specific dungeon item that you can then convert into the terminal to then get loot. And as well with dungeons, they will be tying into challenges, bounties, quests, etc. So if you are into doing something like that, it will be in a challenge or a quest sometime. It will be. So you convert your items, your gunpowder or your rotten flesh in the one terminal. You convert it for some sweet loot. Or if you want to bulk up on the rotten flesh and gunpowder from just the Warzone, you can do that and just convert it all at once. By exiting, you just go through the portal at the end. Very self-explanatory. You head back to spawn. The dungeon is done, and you can go on your merry way. That is basically the gist of dungeons. The next topic I want to talk about is bosses and public activities. So what these are essentially going to be is where bosses and public activities are going to have synergy with each other. They are going to be tied in both within the Warzone, and they will be both happening at the same time. So what are public events? So basically, when a host session of the prison is happening, 1 to 2 public events and bosses will be happening within the prison, and players will be able to go out and get some rewards. And as well, this will be tied into challenges and quests. So there will be some challenges and quests that will include you having to do these public events and activities and to slay these bosses in order to get some loot and in order to complete them and to get the loot from the challenges. Now, what are exactly public activities? What are these bosses going to do? Well, with this public activity, with all of the public activities, it will spawn in a bunch of mobs for you to kill, for you to get a bunch of loot. But however, with this also does dial in with the new PvP changes as well. with the public activity and the boss fight, this is a PvEVP encounter. So this is going to be a player versus enemy. So you are going to be versing off the boss. You're going to be versing off the mobs, but however, there are other people probably wanting to have this loot for themselves as well. You can either A, team up with people around you to defeat this boss faster, or you can kill the mobs and kill the players. It is up to you. If you want this sweet loot, you have to go into the public event, complete it, kill the boss, and then you can get your loot. However, it is pretty hard if you're going to solo it. So if you want to solo it, you can do so. But at the same time, if you have other people, it is going to be a better way to handle it because you are going to be doing it faster. You're going to be having more hands-on. You're going to be having people helping you out. However, this is how bosses and activities are going to work. At the middle of spawn area, there will be a wither projecting a name or projecting a time on when it's going to be hosted. So for example, it will say public activity incoming, Warzone, 5 minutes. Something like that in the fashion at spawn area. And as well, the boss will be in the middle of the Tree of Nexus. The Tree of Nexus in the middle of the Warzone. That is where the public activities and the boss is going to be spawning. And basically, essentially, what you are going to do to summon this boss is that you have to kill a bunch of mobs and you have to charge up craniums in order to summon the boss. You have to lower the shields in order to spawn the boss. The boss will be enclosed in shields. You will have to take down 4 shields in order to take out the shield of the boss. Then you can deal with him, etc., etc. That is all the information I have with the public activities and the bosses. There will be at least 1 to 2 when the update drops, and hopefully it can go as smooth as I want it to go. And as of the loot will be in a shulker box form. This might change maybe in future updates or something like that. But as of right now, the main idea I want to have it is where when the boss is defeated, a random amount of loot is generated. I put it in a shulker box, and the shulker box is placed down or placed, and then it's a free-for-all for whoever gets what loot. It's a free-for-all. If people don't like it, you can kill them. It's a PvEVP scenario. It's still in the Warzone. That is all I have to say about the new Warzone changes. Let's go ahead and dive into some more information. The last of the information, bounties, milestone, and plots. This is the last of the information for the update. Let's get right into it. Starting off, we have the bounties. The Royal is offering specialty bounties to prisoners and offers loot for completion of bounties. Daily bounties can be done and completed for loot, and on top of that, prisoners will be able to set bounties on other players for loot and for satisfaction. So for example, if you want a certain player dead, the Royal is always willing to pay. So for example, if you want a certain person dead, you can set a bounty on them. So for example, if you get killed in the Warzone stupidly while you're in a boss public event, you can set a bounty on that person no matter how much, no matter how high. Well, technically speaking, it has to be at some limit because you're going to be the one who's paying the person who kills him. You can set the bounty. If he gets killed, you pay him the money, etc., etc. Now, this is the bounty board. So this is where you will be able to see where bounties, the basic, just the objective list, how challenges and quests work. Basically the same thing. Bounties are similar to quests. However, bounties are going to be a little shorter and are going to be dedicated towards boss public events and to the Warzone. That's what bounties are more objective to. Quests are more open worlds and all around the prison. Challenges are for more everywhere, but bounties are for mainly focused on the Warzone. As on screen right now, you can see the player bounty wall here. So you tell me who you want to set a bounty on, and I will personally put that up on top there. I will probably have something in spawn area to see who is up on the chopping block. Now, with the bounties, it is going to be the same system with challenges and quests, how you turn in one thing and you get one thing out of it. With the bounties here, there won't be any package bundles. That is the one difference between challenges and quests. There will not be any package bundles. So if you do a bounty, you're going to get one specific item. That's it. But the thing is, bounties are daily, so they will be changing every single day unless I do change that rule. But of course, that is the basic gist of bounties, and that is basically it. Now, let us move on to plots and milestones. Ooh, all right. Well, let's how do I put this delicately? Okay, let's go ahead and start off with milestones first. Milestones, definitely want in the prison. Definitely. The basic gist of milestones: you do something over time, you get an award for it. Okay, cool. But how are milestones going to work? Well, essentially, you do one thing, you get another thing. It's basically the same system as what we have with the prison at the moment right now. But the thing is, it doesn't really involve any redstone. It's going to involve me trading with you personally. So for example, milestone would be rank up to cell block 2, and your reward would be a stack of XP or something like that. I'm still trying to figure out something with these milestones. I really want to make it an effect, but the thing is, it's going to be really difficult for me to do something. I really want to try something, but I'm going to leave it for another video. As of right now, milestones, they're going to be kind of in effect. Kind of. I don't know. Now, with milestones out of the way, milestones will come soon. Plots. Everyone has been asking and asking and asking for plots, when it's going to come out, what it's going to do, how much space you're going to have, how much is it going to cost, how long is it going to last. Plots, as you can see on screen, well, I don't exactly have it yet because I'm still, of course, with this reveal trailer, I can only show you off what I have at the moment. So you could probably already see from previous, like earlier on in the video, some of the shops weren't even done because I'm still working on the shops. But with that being said, the plots are something I do want to implement in this prison. I really do. This comes in with the nether teleportations. This is kind of the new kind of subgroup to the social space. Not really. It's just a gateway to teleportations, etc. So, with that being said, there are 4 teleportations in the nether. You have the one teleportation which will get you to the Nexus town, which is the big kind of dead tree holding up the lava lanterns. That is for the Nexus town. The one that is over by the kind of end fortress structures, kind of my own taste on them, is going to be something in the future and is going to be kind of intertwined with the Warzone. So don't worry about that. Next, behind the tree, or kind of in front of the tree, is something I'm going to keep a secret for now. I'm not going to leak it as of right now. That is another topic for another time. But that's all I'm going to say. Now, the plots. What I want to do for the plots is I want to make it where you can physically teleport to it. So, the gateway with the bridge, where you have to take the bridge, that portal is where you will be able to go to the plots. You will be able to buy a plot permanently for 30,000K. This might change. $30,000 might change. Might be bumped up a little bit. but I expect players to pay a high amount for this. It might be 40,000, might be 30,000. 40 to 30,000 is the price range of a permanent plot. The plots are going to be about a 15 by 15 area. I might make it bigger, but it is still in the making. Trust me, I will have something for this update, and trust me, there's probably not going to be anyone in the prison as of right now to buy a plot immediately when the update comes out. If there is, I'm sorry. But I promise you, I will have more information when the actual update comes out. You will be able to see full information on it, and the teleportation will be there if you do want to check it out for yourself. That is going to do it for this video. So, just to recap on everything we did here. The new currency type, new token types, Warzone changes, new social space, the Nexus crafting, the more PvP. Slow it down. Challenges, quests, bounties, milestones, plots, dungeons, bosses, public activities, more loot, and more. That is it. That is all I have to say, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. The biggest update for the prison and the game-changing event and update that any other server does not have. This is the DarkNexus, and I can't wait to get this out to you guys. That is all I really have to say. If you guys are new around here, of course, you guys all know what to do. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Smash the like button with your forehead. That is going to do it for this information video. Of course, I can't wait to get this out. By the time you guys are seeing this, I want to at least release it this Friday or this Monday coming up. So Friday, July 27th, or maybe even Monday, July 30th. But I'm really pushing for the July 27th, this upcoming Friday. Get hyped for it. Tell all your dudes. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been the Chief, or the Toast Tater, and I'll catch you in the next one.